In this tutorial I will show how you can create and use multiple forms in your Windows Forms applications. So basically, by creating a Windows Forms application with only one form, you may end up with a very complicated graphical user interface. So this tutorial will show how you can create and use multiple forms in your WinForms desktop applications. And then it is so much easier to create a logical and structured graphical user interface. So in this tutorial I will create some basic examples to show how you can create and use multiple forms within your Windows desktop applications. So let's start with a simple example like this. So this is a basic, very simple Windows form application. It has 3 buttons, and when you click on these different buttons you should open a new WinForm, and I will show how you can open a new form in different ways. So let's go to Visual Studio and start creating this application. So now we are in Visual Studio. I just create a new project, create a Windows Forms application, select next, and then specify a folder for my application. I have a folder here called Windows Forms where I put my examples, and then we just call the application Windows Forms application number 1 or something. Click next, and then I choose the latest framework, and then the application template will be created for us. And then by default we have one form already as part of this template called Form 1. So this is the default Form 1. Let's just go into the properties. So here you have the name. We can change the name. You can change it to main form or something, so this will be the main form in our application. You can also change the name or the title here. So we have in the bottom here we have the text Form 1. We can call it main form like this, and now we can run the application. So this is a basic Windows Forms application with one form, but let's create another form and then create a button. So when you click this button, we want to open this new form. So then let's start by creating a new form. I just right click here on the project and then click add, and then just form. And then we are asked for a name for this form. So of course you should create a better name than Form 2, Form 3, etc. But I just use the default one, Form 2, and click add. And then the form will be added here in the Solution Explorer. So now we have Form 1, which is the main form, and Form 2, which is this new form. I can also rename this Form 1 here, right click, rename, and I'll rename it to main form. So now we have the main form, and we have the title main form, and then we have this Form 2. So then in the main form I want to create a button. So in this button we start by just name the button open Form 2 or something, and then you can change the name of the button, open Form 2 like this, and then just make it a little bit bigger, and then we can have it like this. So now we want to create the code for open this new Form 2. So then I just double click on the button in order to create this event handler for this button. So here in the main form, and when you double click on the button, we create this event handler for the button. So inside this event handler we can create the necessary code in order to open Form 2. So then I just type form2 and then create an object of this form. I just call it form2 equals to new form2. So now I have created that object of this form2, and next I just want to open it. So then I just type form2 dot show, like this. So basically this is all you need. So now I can start the application. And then this main form will open as the default form, and then we have this button open form2. So I just click on it, and then you see I open this new form. So now we have a graphical user interface with the main form and this form2, like this. I can close it and I can open it, etc., like this. So this is the first example. The drawback with this example is that both forms can be active, and also when I click on open form here, I can open several form2 like this. So typically we want this second form to be a dialog. This means that you are not able to click on other stuff when you are in this form2. So let's see how we can create a form that is a dialog box, meaning that you're locked into this form when you click on the button here in the main form. So let's see how we can do that. So I just start by creating a new form. Right click and then add form, and then I just create a new form called form3, like this. And basically the form is not doing anything. So we go back to the main form. We have the button for opening form2, and then I just create a new button for open the form3. So I just start by copying it. I change the name, button open form3, like this. And then I can also change the text open form3, like this. And now I just double click in order to create the event. So now we have a new event handler for opening the new form. So then I just start by typing form3 and an object of this new form, like this. And then I type form3 dot in previously we used show. Now I want to use show dialog, like this. So basically that's all. So in form2 we just use form2.show. Now we use form3.show dialog, like this. So then just run the code for the application once more. So now we have two buttons, one for opening the form2, like this, and now we have both these forms which can be edited at the same time. But let's click on this one, and now you see I cannot go back or change other thing in the code because this is a dialog box. So now we need to close it before I can go back to the main application. So this is a dialog box. So now when I try to go back to the main form, I'm not allowed to do that because this is a dialog box. I need to close it before I can change something in the main form. While in this case, it's just a new form that are side by side. And this one is a dialog box which I need to close before I can go back to the main form, like this. Typically we also want to use a third alternative. So now in this case both the main form are here and the new form, but typically when we click on a button we typically want to hide the main form and only show the new form. So let's see how we can do that. So then I create that form number 4, so I just right click here, add form, and then enter the name for form 4 like this. So now we have the main form, we have form 2, 3 and 4. And then in the main form we just create a new button, so I just copy the previous one. So now we have open form 2, form 3 and form 4. So I just changed the name of the button, open form 4, and then change the title, open form 4 like this. So now we have the main form with 3 different buttons. I want to create a new event for this button, so I just double click on it, and now I type form 4 like this in order to create a new object of this new form, and I want to show it as in the previous example. So then form 4 dot show like this. But now I also want to close or hide the main form, so then I just type like this. This meaning this form, this main form. So then this dot hide like this, and that's all. So let's see what's happening now when I run my application. So in the first example we open a new form, but the main form is still here, and we can go back and do something with both the form. So sometimes you want to do that, sometimes you want to create a dialog box in this case. So then in form number 3 it's a dialog box, meaning you cannot go back to the main form before we close it. And now in the third example I clicked on open form 4, so then form 4 was opening and the main application was closed. And then I can close this one. But now I should also go back to the main form, so let's update the code a bit. Because when we close form 4 we want to go back to the main form. So let's go into the code for form 4 and open it. So this is form 4. So here when I click on the exit button or the close icon in the upper right corner, I want to close this form and go back to the main form. So then we go here in the properties and select events, and then we want to use an event called if I go to the top here, and then I want to find an event called form closed. So then I just go to the list there, and then I find the event called form closed. I just double click on it, and then this event is created. So this event occurs when we click on this X in the upper right corner. So here I want to create the following code. So then I want to show the main form, so then I just type main form, an object of that form, main equals to new main form like this. So basically now we have created an object of this main form, and then I just type main form. Oh, spelling mistake here, main we can call it form main like this, sorry, main. So this is just the name of the variable, so then just type main form dot show in order to show this show this main form. So let's start the application now. Now let's click the button Open Form 4, and now Form 4 is open, and the main form is hidden. If I close here, we go back to the main form, and I can click it once more. Form 4 is opening. I close it and go back to the main form like this. So basically this is a simple example where I have created multiple forms, and then we can open and close it in different ways. So in the first example here, I'm showing both the form and the main form like this. I also can click several times on the button in order to create new forms. So in some situations you want to have it like this. In other situations you want to have a dialog box. This means that you cannot change anything in the main form before you close it here. And in the third example, we want to hide the main form when we open a new form like this. And then we go back to the main form when we click on this X in the right corner like this. So there is one more thing I want to do in this example. So when I close the main application here now, I also want to close the entire Visual Studio. So now it's okay, but when I open this one and click on the close here in the main form, you see the Visual Studio project isn't stopping. So I want to add one line of code. So then I go to the main form here. So I want to also here in this event handler, when I click this button, I want to add a line of code. So then I just go to the events here. I select the same event for the main form, which is sorry. So for this main form, I want to also create this event handler form close. I just double click on it here in the properties window, and then this event handler has also been created in the main form. And here I just want to type application dot exit, meaning that the application should be closed like this. So now I can go and run the application once more. And now I can open this one, close it, open it, I can open this one, etc. And then when I close this main application, I also close or shut down the Visual Studio project like this. So basically, this is a basic example how to create multiple forms in a Windows Forms application. In the next example, I want to show how you can pass values between two different forms. So let's assume this basic example. You have this main form and you have a text box or whatever, and then when you enter something in this text box and open a new form, when you click a button, you want to pass this value in this text box into a new text box in this new form. So let's see how we can create this basic example. So then I just use the previous example as a start point, and then I just create a text box here in the main form. And then just drag in a text box, make it a little bit bigger. I can also add a label like this. So let's start with the label. I just change the name for it. So then click on the label. Then I just changed it. It's of course not so important, but I could just label it name as label, and here is the text box. Change it the name as well, txt name like this. And I can also change the visible name of this label, which now should be a text box for entering my name like this. So this is in the main form. I assume I want to open this form number 3, which is this one. Also here I want to create a text box, so I just copy it from this previous main form and also copy it into form 3 like this. So then when I open this new form, I want to pass the values from the previous form like this. So here I can change name, etc. So now it has the proper naming. So now inside this form 3, I just right click, view code, and here you see the constructor for this form. So here I just want to add an input argument, so then I can just type string a variable, my name or something, because I just want the name to be passed from one string to the other, and then I can just put that name into the text box. So then I just type txt name dot text and equal to the name of the variable like this. So basically that's all you need to do in the second form that you update, in this case form 3. So you just add this as an input to the constructor, and then I put the value from this variable into this text box here. And then I go back to the main form, which is this one. So then in the event handler for this open form 3, I just already created code. So form 3 equals the new form 3. And then you see there's some red marks here, meaning I also here should pass a value. So in this case, I just type txt name dot text in order to pass the value from this text box into the form 3 like this. So basically that's all. Oh, sorry, it's a spelling mistake here. It should be, of course, text name dot text like this. So now let's just open it and run the application. So here is the main form with these 3 buttons, and now I type my name here. And then I click here, open form 3, and then you see also the value is also presented here in this text box. So now we have passed a value from the main form into this new form 3 like this, by only adding a bit of code. Then first in this form 3 code, I just added an input argument into this constructor, and then I just type txt name.text on this variable. This was in form 3, and in the main form I pass this txt name.text, which is this text box here, this text box, and then form 3.show dialog in order to open this this new. So here I can type whatever I like, click open form 3, and then it passed to this form. I close it, I can type on something new, and the values are passing to this new form like this. Of course, if you have multiple text box, you can of course have multiple arguments here. You can also use more advanced objects, classes, etc. in order to pass a lot of information from one form to another. So that's all for now. So now you know how to create and use multiple forms in your Windows desktop applications, and also know how you can pass values between different forms. So thank you and goodbye.